where we need to, which customer or kind of use cases also we will see at last. Okay. So this is our agenda for this today, and in our requirement understanding what is a Canara Bank requirement and what solution we have given and what is our solution stack we have positioned over there and why we have chosen those products and what is the deployment architecture we have given to Canara Bank and what kind of features and functionalities having with the solution and relevant solution also we will speak and also we have initiated our the solution in our lab environment also. That also I will tell across. So let us see the requirement first. So Canara Bank, they would like to procure some work from home solution. That should be a 5,000 user license. They are looking 5,000 concurrent users. So concurrent users in the sense, we can use a number of users, but after time, 5,000 users should be accessible. For a present moment, the customer will buy 1,000 concurrent user license. A number of users can use, but at the moment, 1,000 users can use this environment. And 5,000 user concurrent license also there was. And we have sized the complete solution for 5,000 users in terms of hardware, in terms of security features, and all other stuff. We have sized for 5,000 users. And the day one, we are giving 1,000 users license only. During the over 5 years period of time, they will buy their additional licenses whenever they are required. And they need all the sessions needs to be recorded. If a user is logging in from their laptop to office premises desktop, all the sessions need to be recorded. So the work from home solution itself, how it is going to be is you will have one laptop or personal PC in your home, or else you may have your mobile phone, and you are accessing your desktop, which is sitting in your local environment, which is sitting in your bank. So when you go to home or when you are sitting in home, you can access your desktop from your available devices. That is the solution they have given. So initially, customer was using a Zoho VPN for it. And normal VPN solutions won't have much kind of enterprise security functionalities that is offering by our solution. Those functionalities also we will discuss in follow-up slides. So this solution is also having active passive DC DRC setup. Once the DC is down, the DR will become up with a manual intervention, and all the functionalities will be same. And we are giving a 24/7 dedicated on-site support also for this project for a complete 5 years period. So everyone, please look into this slide. Let us go with our solution flow, how it is going to be. Customer is having some desktops in their local desktop environment. Once the user goes to their once the user go to work from home setup, then the desktop will be remain here, and user will be sitting in their work from home setup. And they will have their desktops or else laptops. They will have their mobiles, be it Android or iOS. All these things. So we have get end user devices are supported in our environment. So the client flow will follow like this. The user hit it to firewall, their perimeter firewall. This is a customer existing firewall. After that, it will come to our proposed firewall. And proposed firewall, what it will do is, it will check whether it's encrypted traffic do we getting. It's a particular xauusd traffic we are getting here. If it's not xauusd traffic, it will discard the packets and it won't send it to xauusd gateway itself. If it's a 443 SSL traffic in the sense, it will go to xauusd gateway. The complete traffic is SSL traffic, completely secure shell traffic. It is completely encrypted with a particular key, and we are giving high standard SSL certificate here. And after getting into ACOPS gateway, it will get decrypted. On this packet it will get decrypted, and it will firewall. In the firewall, it will do anti-DDoS, your sandboxing things, all these things like URL filtering, web application filtering, all these stuffs will be done here. If there is a sandboxing record, it will go to sandboxing solution. So sandboxing is nothing but if a user sending a file.
We are losing you.
Like a Word document or a PDF document they are sending to their desktop. At this time, hello. So the firewall do the check, like a true file verification. Not behave like a exe file. So it will check whether it's a proper file, and if it feels it's a malicious file. If it feels like it's a malicious file, it will send it to sandboxing. Sandboxing solution,
Here properly.
the sandboxing.
Just check.
The voice is not coming properly.
Yeah.
Hello team, am I audible?
Yeah. Better. Still same issue.
Others connect via audio if required. You have the audio bridge details, right?
So, now it is perfect.
Yeah, now clear.
Hi team.
Yeah, that's go ahead.
One second. Yeah, it is connected. I'll start this slide one second. I'll start this slide. So the Canara Bank work from home local desktop setup will be there. So once the user get into their work from home setup, once the user went out of office, the user will be sitting in your work from home setup. Like he might having his desktop or laptop, or else he might have his mobile phone, being it's Android or iOS, both are fine for us. So they will hit the initial perimeter firewall. After that, they will come to our proposed firewall. In proposed firewall, it will check whether it is an ACOPS traffic. If it's an ACOPS traffic only, it will allow inside. Yeah, in this case, in this side, we are doing geolocation blocking, and your brute force attacks. All these things will get discarded here. After that, only ACOPS traffic will get filtered, and it will send it to ACOPS gateway. Till that time, it is completely SSL traffic till it reaching gateway. Once the gateway it reached, SSL decryption will happen. After decryption, it will again send it to firewall, where it will do the URL filtering, web application filtering, anti-DDoS. All these functions will take care here. And it will check for a true file detection. If a user is doing any file transfer between this work from home setup to a particular desktop in the sense, then it will check for a true file. If it's a true file in the sense, a Word file should not behave like an exe file. It should not be executable file. So if a Word file is behaving like that, means it will check, and if it's necessary, it will check send it to sandboxing solution. In sandboxing solution, the sandboxing will happen and it will check the file is malicious or not. If it's a malicious, it will get discarded and it will alert administrator. If it's a non-malicious, it will again go to your desktop or file server, wherever it is need to be. And one more function customer asks, once the user is logged into particular desktop, the complete session need to be recorded and it should be saved. For the 100 days, it need to be stored in a hot storage. It should be accessible for an administrator easily. After 100 days, it should be archived into tape library for the 5 years. Total contract period, it need to be stored in an archival media. So this is the solution stack. For the solution, anyone having any doubt on this? So I'm moving forward. I'm considering if there are any questionnaires. So this is how the solution stack, proposed solution stack here. For a work from home solution, software we are giving ARCOPS. And for infrastructure, complete work from home solutions should be aligned. For that, we are giving Nutanix solutions like HCI, we are giving both DC and DR. Security stand, being as a firewall, sandboxing, analyzer, manager, all these things we are giving from a Fortinet. And for a backup in the sense archival solution, after 100 days it need to be archived into tape library. For that, we are giving Veritas net backup solution, and archival media will be Tandberg. Someone mic is on, I think. Then this is a deployment architecture which is very similar to I explained earlier. So the user will come to his perimeter security, then he will come to this firewall and firewall with the web functionalities, and once it reaches high security gateway, it will do the SSL inspection and SSL decryption will happen. Again, it will come to firewall. Then there's a sandboxing necessary. It will go, and it will come to again firewall and DMZ to LAN firewall. It will LAN. Then it will establish a connection between PC and user laptop. So the session will be recorded by ARCOPS streaming setup, streaming server setup. We have this MS SQL is completely managed. All these things will be stored in the MS SQL cluster. And for high performance storage is a hot storage, and it will then management console is there to manage complete setup. Streaming server is for to stream the video, and we have software load balancer in both ARCOPS gateway as well as for this session recording. It's an inbuilt ARCOPS functionalities. This is solution architecture of Nutanix, where we proposed 4 nodes in DC with AOS Acropolis hypervisors itself, and compute and storage inbuilt in HCI. And torch switch we have given Extreme torch switch, and archival storage solution we have given a net backup. With tape library we have given 1.4 petabyte of tape library from Tandberg. And similar to it will be in DR. Only DC we are considering archival storage. In DR there is no archival setup we are giving. And this 1.4 petabyte where we faced some challenges initially, I thought of highlighting here, because initially when we are doing it, the size was since it's all our video files, the size was 5 years coming around 14 to 15 petabyte. Then we worked it out the solution along with ARCOPS with respect to reducing the time of 9 to 6 around 8 hours time. Initially we consider 24 hours size recording size. then we considered 8 hour size, and then we considered initially we were considering 21 or 30 frames per second, and last in this stage we have considered 2 frames per second, which given us such an reduction in archival media capacity. It is one of major challenge we faced in initial discussions or initial in RFP stage we faced the challenge. So thought of highlighting. So this is the architecture we are going to deploy in Canara Bank now. So complete internal zone are the Nutanix and Tor switch and archival solution complete thing are going to be there. And in DMZ zone, we are going to put our FortiGate firewall and our sandboxing solutions. FortiGate, all this our connectivity we consider 10 gig SOP fiber. All over the sites we consider fiber for the low latency and high performance side. A similar solution will be done in DR as well, and replication, Nutanix replication itself we will be using, and for archival setup alone won't be there in DR as discussed earlier. So let us come to what kind of functionalities we can give with this solution. So let us start with the client. It is having a Windows client, Linux, and Android in a Mac OS client, Windows client, Mac OS client in terms of laptop and desktop, and it has a mobile client also. It is having Android clients, even iOS clients we are having. So for the sample, I have attached images of Windows client and Android client, how it will look. So when you logging in your credential with the client means you will know, you will have access to your desktop here, and you will be having if some application, if there is a developer sitting and he is doing a work from home in sense, application itself we can publish here. He will get a direct access to applications and file and folders he can use the file and folder for file sharing functionalities. All these things he can get it in the client. The same functionalities we will be getting in Android client as well. So this is one of the major functionality, the solution should be capable of providing your assessing your desktop, web portal, application, desktop based on your user profile and policies. In the sense, if I use user is getting in this files only access or this kind of desktop only access, all these things we can define. How we can define in the sense, all users we can assign, or from AD we can put the users, and even we can enter such manually. So we can do user type there. So and it's available. This solution should be available in India in the sense there should not be any apart from India. No one should log in. That kind of functionalities they were looking. So we can define that what this application should be available to the India, even particular states also we can mention. So based on that, we can avoid some foreign users or someone unauthorized usage we can avoid. And posture 6, when a user coming into their logging in their desktop from your user laptop or anything, there should be a proper. It should be a proper device. It should not be a malicious or corrupted device. So we can define what is the OS, what is the OS patch level should be there, and antivirus should be updated, the firewall status should be on. All these things we can mention, what are all the things we can do with the policy. So antivirus, firewall, anti-spyware, your MAC addresses, IP addresses, geolocation, domain, Windows updates, even your WAN IP addresses. All these things we can assign in a policy, and that users only can able to log in. and that will establish a proper secured network, establishing a connection for and fingerprinting. Fingerprinting in the sense, like at least 3 unique if a user is having one laptop and this laptop MAC ID, CPU ID and UID should be matched with the requirement. Although we can even have an IMEI number for Android and iOS devices. And we have more functionalities like your hard disk serial number, CPU serial number, all these things we can fingerprint. And only if it's matching, the user can able to log into their desktop. This also give a customer confidence of not unauthorized usage is not happening. So authentication. Authentication is another major part. In this, the customer was asking SMS and email token. So in this we can do by AppOps solutions we can do email token and SMS token, then mobile token, hardware token. All these tokens we can customize and give entry. And we can enable what should be a token length. It should be 6 digit or 7 digit. And expiry time we can customize. And what is the timeout? Ideal timeout we can mention, and session timeout. Frequently regeneration also we can mention. In a 30 minutes time again you need to log in with a fresh OTP. Those kind of things also we can do. With this also, like if a user is getting out of his desk, it's automatically expired. If in 30 minutes time if he is not again logging in with a fresh OTP means it will automatically log out. Then record management. In record management, what we can do is, what we can get, like one user is logging in, we can get all the information like their user ID, which city they are logging in, which country they are logging in, what is their login time, what the session time. Session time in the sense is using for 2 hours or 3 hours. All these things we can take. What is his host name? What is his WAN IP address? Client IP address, client type, whether it's a mobile client or all these things we can take, and client MAC address. All these things we can get into the single dashboard. We can even pull this report in an Excel sheet also. And one of the major functions is end-to-end session recording. So, one user we have created, and that user when they are trying to log in into their desktop, office desktop, their session will be recorded. What is the user IP address? What is the timestamp? And what length? Session recording length. 18 minutes, 8 seconds. He have used his desktop from his work from home. Reporting mechanism. So in these reports, we can get more customized report. Like what is the peak concurrent users on the complete day, and how many numbers of logins happen, and what is the unique user logins are, how many failed attempts in terms of SSL failed or MFA failed, to login failures. All these things we can get it in a single dashboard, and your active top 5 users session time. Like that, we can customize complete solution, customize your filters, you can customize your reports, or things you can take as per our request, or when we need to manage, or when we need to project it to management or something. We can customize the report as per our request, and we can do it to management. And another function, file transfer access. Even file transfer is one of the major function. Customer need to give only for some users, not for everyone, and they need to disable when they are logging into their office desktop. They need to block the printing functionalities, USB functionalities, copy paste functionalities. All these things you need to block. That also we can do with. When it comes to profile, we can do this block. See here, it's highlighted here. Block printing, on blocking USB, clipboard in the sense copy pasting functionalities, all these things. So we can do. And it's one of the beauty of this solution. Even it is having so much of functionalities or so much of work to do, it won't even consume 1% of CPU utilization. The customer was asking us, this point was minimum 10 will not about 10%. It should be minimum 10% usage he was asking. But where we can see our utilization, it is more or less 0. Something percentage. So it's almost we can say even in a peak workload, it will go to 1 to 2% of utilization for the client using your desktop. And other more functionalities we have given, like bulk user creation and bulk access policy assignments. Like if a management is taking 100 users suddenly or 1,000 users suddenly, then they can create a bulk users creations, and they can assign the policies concerned to the like what department they are joining, and based on that they can assign the policies as a bulk. And if they are taking some internship users, let us say internship users come for 30 to 60 days time, means we can create a user profile with auto expiry. Even admin is forgetting their internship users, they went out. Even with the auto expiry functions, the users will automatically will get deleted or won't have access to the environment. With even we can customize this for predefined dates, like the Monday to Tuesday or Monday to Friday he should have access, or this dates he should have a date access. All these things we can customize. And like 10 to 5 p.m. only he should have access. All these things we can customize, and we can ensure proper secured work from home solution. And security features we have given with this solution is like your scan, detect, and block zero-day threats. All these things we have blocked, and remote access threats we have given a solution. Even targeted and blended attacks by RDP exploit attacks, and OWASP attacks, APT, malware, spyware, ransomware, bombs, trojans, keyloggers, hacker tools. From all these points, we have given a solution. Considering all these points, we have given a solution. So we are achieving with here all the security solution with a 40-gig 2200E box, and we are giving high availability box in DC and DR, and we are giving a sandbox 40 sandbox solution. For managing all this setup, we are giving a 40 manager, that is a VM solution. VM based one we are giving, and 40 analyzer for the complete logs and reports. We are giving a 40 analyzer as well for the complete security. So most of the security stack we have given, and like some other key functionalities we are utilizing bank solution also. Like we are integrating this solution with banks as a EM solution, MDM solution, even AD integration is happening, and we have considered only archival solution completely, and backup solution we didn't consider. So we are integrating this solution with a backup solution, and SMS gateway and email gateway also we are integrating. SMS and email gateway for mobile authentication purpose we are using it. So till now we have considered we have spoken about work from home solution through it's like a your VPN solution. Is there any doubts or clarity needed till now?
You keep the Q&A session for last, others. Go ahead.
So next is just explaining BDI. So thought of not to confuse BDI and work from home the solution. Just a screen. I can see chats. So next is our VDI solution. VDI is quite similar to work from home solution. Whatever we earlier discussed. Complete functionalities, even more functionalities we will get with a VDI solution. In VDI solution, when we say our desktops were sitting in one your place of workplace, your desktop. But in this setup, your desktop will sit in your data center. You won't have any desktop in your local setup. You might have a thin client. Thin client in the sense it won't have much CPU or RAM. It will have a small size of CPU and RAM, like 4 GPU or like that. So why? Because your complete core memory, storage, all these things will put it in your data center with some setup, some server storage, and you will be using it. And as I mentioned earlier, your client won't even consider 0.1 or 0.1% of your CPU utilization. You won't need higher CPU or memory in client. So we will consider thin clients or zero clients here. With the client, you will access your being it's a virtual applications or your dedicated hosted desktops, or it can be a desktop as a service from a public cloud. All these things you can access from your even your BIOD devices or thin clients. So if a customer is refreshing desktop completely, then this could be a solution, because he will get a lot of security benefits. And one more practical example, if I'm saying, you have a desktop, everyone were using desktops, laptops, but when we go to our utilization, we were using i5. Let us take an example. We were using i5 laptop or i5 desktop. It might 4-port CPU. And when you logging in, when you're using some activities or when you are doing something, when you go to your task manager and you seeing your CPU utilization, it won't even cross 25-30%, maximum to 50%. So 50% of utilization we were not using. That is a 2 core only we are using, and 2 core we are not even using. Considering this, if for the 10 users, it's a 20 core is reduced. For a 100 users, if you consider 200 cores we are using. So by considering all this, when we consolidate all the usable resources into a dedicated data center, so much of your overheads can be reduced, and even customer will have lot of control over the data. You are bringing your desktop and doing the work. You are bringing your laptop or you are bringing your devices and you are doing works for your company. The data going to sit in your company's data center only. It is not coming with end user devices. So you will have a lot of control over the data, and you will have a lot of security functionalities over the data. So considering all this, work from iSecure gateway as well as iSecure VDI solution, what could be the use case? Who will be the targeted customer for this when we are speaking? If a customer is having so many employees and they are expecting they are doing a work from home solution, work from home things are the present scenario, and customer is feeling it's not secure, they will be our targeted customers. We can start with a small even 10-50 kind of users, and we can expand the complete set. Even they can, for a moment, they can go with a high secure solution like a gateway solution, and after that they can easily move to even VDI when it's a desktop refresh is coming. And if a customer is confused whether they need to completely refresh their desktop, or they can either go for any other solution. At this stage also we can go with the VDI solutions. So these are all the use cases, and any customers will be a targeted customers, being it's a BFSI or manufacturing, hospitality. All these customers we can consider as a targeted customers, because and pandemic is one of the major reasons we can talk to any customers in this scenario, because most customers already faced the challenges of work from home solution, work from home setup. So let us go to Q&A. Anyone having any doubt?
Question: what are the differences between Citrix and this particular product? Can we position this product instead of Citrix?
Sure, sir. Sure. Technical functions. It's a quite a similar one, uh, and Acops is a completely a Make in India product. And apart from the technical architecture wise, it is having a quite differences. But when we coming to implementation perspective, it is quite easier one comparing to Citrix with the architecture and with your easiness. And it is Citrix also having a lot of client devices supported, and even our COP solution is having a lot of client devices supported.
There's a question from Sudhir.
Srini, just to add on to what Adarshi was saying, when we look at the overall product also, COPS, what we suggested to customer here was a single project, that was a COPS High Secure Platinum, which we suggested. And with that, we were able to fulfill all the requirements here as per the RFP. But when you look at, say, VMware or say Citrix and the TCS of the world, so those guys were also participating for this RFP, but none of them came forward for the POC because they had a complex setup that apart from that, multiple products of theirs were involved there. And when it came for a POC, none of them, even attempted to perform the POC. So nobody did, apart from ACOPS, nobody completed the POC. And ACOPS also did the POC through us. So that is how it was our winning combination, which we have showcased to customer. Apart from winning Make in India.
So there is a question in the system. What is ACOPS gateway? From Sudhir.
1 second. So ACOPS gateway is only doing your all the functionalities I mentioned in upcoming slides on previous slides I mentioned, like your user authentication, your policy assignments, all these things will do the ACOPS gateway only. Once it checked all these things like your authentication and policies, after that it will establish a connection between your local laptop to office desktop. So even without your firewall or sandboxing, this solution will work. Most of the functions I mentioned, all these functions will work even without your security setup. If a customer is already having a integrate ACOPS gateway in this, so gateway will do the authentication and it will check for what are the policies needed. It will check the policy checks. After that, it will establish your desktop connection.
So what is the product we are putting for sandboxing and other things? Security related.
Security in a firewall, we are giving a FortiGate 2200D in DCI with high availability, and in sandboxing we are giving 1000F sandbox 1000 box. Since because why we have considered 2200D, that is 5000 users model, and but sandboxing even we downsized it for 1000F. For 5000 users we might go with the 2000 series, but we downsized it because if a user is coming, if 1000 users or 5000 users coming and logging in, all 5000 users won't not going to do a file transfers. Only file transfer time, the sandboxing solution is going to work. So we consider 1000 to 1500 users for a sandboxing. Based on that, we downsized the sandboxing box where we have given 1000 series box.
Will we take care of the 0-day vulnerabilities?
Yes, the 0 days are considered. So Fortinet 2200D can manage that. And for sandboxing also, we are getting a dedicated link from a customer. It will directly connect to internet, and it will check for the 0-day threats also. It will take the updates from a FortiClouds.
So the 0-day sandboxing, is it running a virtual machine inside your firewall, or how it's
Sandboxing is an appliance. It will have a lot of virtual machines like your Windows virtual machines or office suites. All these things will be there. If a particular file coming in, it will. If a Word file is coming, then the Office virtual machine do the function of it will open the Office file. Office file will open the Word and it will try to read and it will check for that this app it is behaving properly with the Office file. And if it's behaving properly in the sense, it won't do anything. If it's not, if it's like a executable file, it's coming inside a Word means it will say it is a malicious file. It is an executable file, not a Word file, and it will discard it, and it will alert the administrator.
end customer is going to use their physical desktop hosted in their data center or in their banking environment. At what circumstances the files are getting transferred to the data center or to the environment?
At presently, you are asking, sir?
Yeah, at present. Anyway,
At present,
even in future also, customer is going to use or access the desktop which is in the Canara Bank network. Correct?
yes, yeah.
Then why do we need sandbox here? If a customer is not going to transfer any files.
No, sir. If a customer is doing some files, they are downloading into their local laptop and doing functionalities, doing some functions like they are downloading some Word files that he worked in an office environment. After going to home, he is downloading it and he is working on the Word file, and again he is putting into the user desktop. That is was the use case given to us. Actually, that function is not needed, but since a bank is asking, we have given it. But that function is not needed. Anyway, they are taking a remote and they can do the word. They can do the functions whatever they record in the remote itself. They can do. But since customer asked this file transfer should be there, we have given it.
So to answer your question, Srini, I mean the initial solution which was proposed did not have a mandatory need of sandboxing because it's more of a remote access of the desktop at the branch premises. But the use case of ensuring that there is absolutely any file that comes through the network needs to be validated for malware related issues was emphasized by banks. That would be done only with local sandboxing. So to just explain a bit more about sandboxing, it basically can emulate any file and then a safe environment where lot of parameters will be used to ensure that the emulated file is matching to the exact pattern what the file is supposed to be having. Example Word or Excel or any other files. And if it is found malicious, then it will be dropped, and if it is found non-malicious, then the traffic will go through the subsequent security device control. So that's the way sandboxing works. But first factor subsequently to ensure that customers' request in terms of any malware defense through files getting transferred through the network has to be defended. So that's the use case which we try solving with the sandbox.
So that your office ransomware everything attacks will get avoided.
Yeah, you mentioned 0 day, right? So any 0 day attacks could be mitigated.
So how about copy paste operator, clipboard functionality? We have the business security here. Because usually when they are looking in their own BAOD, okay.
Sir.
So there is this clipboard functionality is prohibited here.
Yeah. You can't copy paste from your desktop to your laptop. Your clipboard functionality, print screen functionalities, all these things will be avoided. Like since they are declining the print screen functionalities, even your AnyDesk also won't work. If you are giving someone AnyDesk and you are trying to authenticate your high secure client, then you can't see the AnyDesk. You will see a black screen only on the high secure client. So clipboard and even print screen we are blocking.
So apart from publishing the entire desktop, accessing the entire desktop, I can share only a required application only. Right?
But since a customer is already assigned application to particular desktop, that way only they are working in a bank. So they already allocated a applications based on the user profiles. So that only they are going to take a remote from their work from home setup. So again, we can for the developers or like that, we are giving application functionalities like the each user. 1 second. So here, when we see web application is there. So if user is directly data center hosted application, he can be assigned. He can work on those applications.
No, I'm not talking about this particular central bank. Basically, the programming may not allow to publish application to the end customer. Sorry, across the network. Okay. But for other customers, non-banking customers, non-BFSA customers, so the application can be published across the network.
Yes, it can be published.
Like suppose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Not this Canara Bank, they have used both work from home as well as BDA or only work from home?
Work from home only they are using. Since it's a BDA also, it may be an expert. The customer already invested a lot in desktops. So when the desktop refresh or something is coming, they might upgrade this license to VDI. So it is a easy process. Similar VDI also going to be a similar solution, but their desktop's going to be sit in data center environments.
What is the protocol they are using inside the ACOPS to connect the physical desktop? Whether normally RDP using more bandwidth not being used to get the complaint from customer. Here the ACOPS using same
RDP only they are using. RDP only they are using. It's RDP only.
Microsoft environment in the WAN segment, if you use RDP, it will take more bandwidth with the complaint while going through VPN or whatever they have. But here they are also using RDP.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a RDP connection only, establishing between your laptop and office premise desktop.
Others, do we have any XenApp like Citrix feature here in ACOPS? For dedicated desktop, we cannot assign recently resource. It is a cost expensive one. So for XenApp, we can reuse that. Whoever logged out, sign off from the office, from the work from home, we can reuse the next shifted person to that one. So do we have like the feature of XenApp here in ACOPS?
Yes, sir. Yeah. The similar functionalities ACOPS is also having that we can achieve easily.
Provided they have connected in the AD environment, and only the multi-user authentication and Active Directory authentication.
Yes, sir. AD, we will integrate with AD. We will integrate with their AD, their mobile gateway, SMS gateway and email gateway completely for token, SMS and email OTP. And ACOPS will give tokens also, ACOPS tokens for another authentication. Even hardware tokens also available. That is also available. Hardware tokens. Hardware tokens in the sense one user will have like pen drive or something. They will have some tokens.
Others, how far the other servers or set up that one like application, database, messaging server and other queuing server and everything that is it in the same IP range or in the different range? So that we can access from our VDA or this desktop that one.
So I couldn't understand, sir, because the voice is breaking. I don't know whether it's my side problem or your side. I don't know.
How far the other servers set up? like application server, database server, messaging server, queuing server, and the notification server and everything like in cups. Is it the same IP range or different IP range that we can access it from the Office desktop through RDP or?
So you're asking implementation architecture or off question? Yeah, here.
Apart from the Office desktop, so I'm working on one of the projects. For that project, I need some application server, database server, messaging and other servers. So how far that setup?
Okay.
Usually, this desktop usually in different VLANs. Okay. Whereas your development environment, all these servers, whatever you are speaking, it will be on different VLANs. Okay. So based on your access control, okay, depends on their internal security policy, the access will be provided to the respective users.
Okay.
Adarsh, I have a question.
Yes.
Same iSecure. If the purpose of iSecure is primarily to connect to a desktop, it is all corporate environment.
Yes.
But instead of providing a remote access of a desktop, can the same iSecure provide remote access of an app?
Yes.
Because that possibility, I know that possibility is there, but just for the purpose of the audience, I just want to highlight that, say for example, you have around 1,000 desktops accessing one specific customer application, which is inside the customer premises only.
Mm-hmm.
So to access that application, you do not go through the remote desktop and then access that application. That application can be made accessible directly through iSecure as well, right?
Yes, yes. See, in our clients, web application is there, and even in a mobile client, hosted applications is showing. So in this, he will get those applications.
Yeah. So in Canara Bank work from home use case, it is only desktop share access, or any application access also is getting planned.
Application access also they're planning. For the POC, we didn't did it. What we did for the desktops only, but they are asking for the applications also.
Also, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the licensing is bundled for both the remote desktop access and for applications.
Yes, the license is for the remote access. The remote access can be anything. It can be a desktop. It can be applications.
Any the secure connectivity can be either to a desktop, a laptop in a secure environment or in a corporate environment, or it can be directly to an internal app. That's the use case of iSecure.
No. So I asked about the licensing. Whether you have dedicated separate license for accessing the desktop and for
No, sir. And the license, when we say it's a licensing, we have taken it's a COPS Gold license with the functionalities of additional functionalities. Session recording is we added, and one of the other functionalities we have added is a Nano OS. Nano OS we didn't consider for Canara Bank, but it was one of the compliance functionality. Like Nano OS, what it is, you will have one USB drive. In the USB drive, your Nano OS will be loaded. Once you are plugging in your USB drive, your Windows and your desktop completely will become as a iWorks client, iSecure client. You won't get any other functionalities apart from your iSecure. Once the work is done, you can unplug your USB. All works will be wiped in your pen drive, as well as no works going to be saved even in your laptop. That is one of the additional functionality. But since it's a pen drive, need to be given to all users. A lot of challenges I was having. They didn't consider that. This is also, but we included in the license.
Yeah, Adarsh, one more question.
Yes, sir.
There's something called Highlight, right? Is Highlight also licensed along with iSecure here in this specific requirement? Because you mentioned RDP is the protocol access for desktop, but if Highlight is enabled, then HTML5 based access can be enabled for the same desktop. Is it?
HTML5 based browser access is we are giving, but there is no license added for the highlight like that. I don't know. As per me, HTML5 access is enabled.
Enabled, right? Okay.
Enabled. Yeah.
Darshan, can you share your screen? People will have some idea about how the interface looks like. Can you ask Gautam to share this?
Gautam only, sir. 1 second. I don't have that access. 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. Gautam will share.
Are they enabling biometric access for core banking application access from this desktop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Biometric integration also done.
Yeah.
So
Just to highlight to the audience, since it is a banking related use case, there may be a core banking application access which mandates a biometric authentication integration use case as well, so that seamless authentication data is done before providing such application access. And I think HiSecure has got a native integration, right, Adarshan?
Yeah, yes, sir. We integrated with the bank's biometric devices.
Biometric, yeah.
Biometric application.
Via the Duo authentication on mobile device, you can get the authentication and then log in into the account.
லாகின் பண்ணி டிஸ்டர்ப் வர மாதிரி ப்ரௌசர் சப்போஸ் அது வரலனாக்கா இது வழியா கிளைண்ட் வந்து ப்ரௌசர்ல
someone asked something, I think, sir.
Yes, via the authentication. Yes, via the authentication. What we did it via the Duo authentication, mobile device. We are receiving the 6-digit code and enter the code while logging in the accounts.
So, yes, yeah. So that Citrix, you will one client you will be installed in your mobile. That client will give you some tokens, right, sir?
Yes.
So that is a mobile token. That is also here we have considered.
Anderson, there is a small doubt. See, suppose in my environment we have the production and the UFP subject stocks. So right now with working office we can be able to use a KVM to access the bases. Suppose I want to do work from home, I want to access the UFP also. So because it's a different VLAN, so it is possible to use using a desktop and laptop to access the both PCs. Is there any options for that?
Yes, sir. You can take multiple desktops. See, in our 1 second. In a they will host your desktops for your user. On that, you will get 2 desktops will be hosted for you. You can use both desktops. So you will have your user-based policy will be assigned. On that policy, they will publish which are all the things you need to access.
So there is possibility for different VLAN, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks.
Hello. Other?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
How about your plan for the VPN connection, the remote connection?
Can't get you, sir.
for the work from home, the users will like from work work from home to the office, okay, office network, okay.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
how they are accessing access through the VPN, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. It's like a VPN solution only.
You plan for the VPN. Okay. It's not getting it private and or again in the end.
Sir, couldn't understand you. Like, can you elaborate, please? Hello, sir.
Yes, okay.
Oh, UTM.
Yeah, you can bundle to right?
40. We have given a 40-kit solution with all functionalities like anti-DDoS, even your the OS functionalities, even web application filter functionalities. All these things we were bundled together with a 40-kit firewall solution. Apart from that, we have given a separate appliance for 40 sandboxing. And to manage this, to manage it, we given a 40 manager. It's a virtual appliance. And for logs, we have given a 40 analyzer. That is also virtual appliance.
Application filter and web filter, all the features are there, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And how about the both sandbox? Can you explain?
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. So sandboxing, 40-kit sandbox will have one, let's say, for an example, what your laptop is having a one processor, RAM, something. The same way, your sandbox is also will have some processor, RAM, all this. So one file is getting, if a firewall will do the true file detection. True file detection, the name itself says, one file is there. That file is having some name and it is behaving like that. If it's behaving differently means it will send it to sandbox. Like your PDF file should not behave like an executable file. Executable file in the sense .exe files. Whatever you are installing in your laptop. Installing files are .exe files. It should not behave, a .pdf file should not behave like a .exe file. So it will, once a .pdf file is getting into your sandbox, this sandbox will open the .pdf file. And it should open and it should behave like a PDF. If it's a behaving like .exe installation file, it will say it is a malicious file because it is it's a name and behavioral, it's entirely different. So it will say it is a malicious file. You just discard it, and it will alert the administrator. This is your malicious file came into your network. Act accordingly like that. It will give it.
So the firewall is getting any malicious files or any unsupported file, any threatened file, it will share to sandbox, and sandbox will check and ensure it will malicious or any threatened file.
Yes.
It will get like that, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, thanks, Adarshan, for your time. We will have a lab session by some particular convenient okay, the setup is readily available in the Cisco environment. So, people who are interested, you can reach us. So, you can demonstrate all the. So, it is readily available for physical desktop as well as for video.
Yes. So for any enquiries or any POCs need to be done in a customer environment, you can always reach us. Myself or Srini sir, you can reach.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
So thank you everyone.
Thank you
so much. Bye.
Very good.